Today in the crypto space, we see Bitcoin getting a nice bounce to the upside, up approximately 7% at $33,700, and Ethereum also up approximately 3 to 4% at around $1,700. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins are looking pretty good. Some green price action, of course, throughout the market. Look up Mina Protocol, CFX, and a few more getting some strong bounces to the upside. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin, one project that is looking really bullish and could be the Ethereum flipper, and that is, of course, Solana. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate that strategy, subscribe to the channel and click that bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. And of course, guys, you can hit me up on those socials. The links are also in the description. Guys, join the Discord. The Discord is a great community, lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and all that good stuff. All right, guys, let's begin. What is going on here? Bitcoin, of course, leading the way. Bitcoin nice and strong, move to the upside, up approximately in the last 24 hours, looking pretty good. In the last 7 days, 20%. Okay, so that's pretty good for Bitcoin, and we use Bitcoin as a leading indicator. Of course, if Bitcoin runs up, we can expect that all the other cryptos, the altcoins, running up alongside it. But we do know that Bitcoin, as of now, is still holding its dominance in its favor. The Bitcoin dominance is looking pretty strong, getting in that nice impulsive move. But what about the altcoins, right? Ethereum. I was really thinking about doing an Ethereum overview today, you know, a bit of a touch base on Ethereum. Let me know in the comment section if you think I should be giving Ethereum a bit of attention, because I was definitely going to talk about Ethereum in this video, but I decided to talk about Solana. Why? Because many individuals are talking about Solana flipping an Ethereum, that it could be possible, right? Solana right now, its market cap is at about 13 billion, which is, you know, pretty high up there, you know, and if we look at Ethereum, it's definitely up there. The Solana have the capability, in this case, to catch up. And the question is, you know, if Solana is going to be able to recover ultimately from its, you know, debacle, of course, with FTX and all of that, and if its ecosystem can continue growing, showing strength and all that good stuff. But the price action, guys, the price action is doing very well. Like you can see, Solana's up 29% in the last little while, still grinding to the upside. And this is the reason why I want to cover Solana today. Let's see what kind of potential Solana may have. There's a lot of indications that potentially we can see a lot of institutional money enter Solana. So this is why I want to look at Solana, of course, and we're going to take a look at the general market. Before we get into Solana, obviously we'll take a look at Bitcoin first to see, you know, what is Bitcoin showing us in the immediate short term. It's looking great. However, a sign of weakness on the lower time frames, perhaps, that we might hit a level of rejection. So we'll definitely take a look at Bitcoin in that regard. But what's going on in the general market? You can see the market is looking healthy. Look at Chainlink, up 36%. And many other altcoins. What are some good gainers for today? You know what? Let's do a quick thing by just, organize these by top gainers. Look up Mina Protocol, guys. Mina Protocol is absolutely on fire. Now, if you were able to catch the bottom, guys, on the channel, we've talked about Mina Protocol in the past, and I've actually pinpointed the actual bottom here from Mina Protocol before it ran up. And I've made all of those charts available to you on the Discord. Feel free to join that Discord. As you can see, I release videos each and every day. In fact, twice a day. I do a pre-record, which is these types of videos that you're listening to right now, and of course the live streams at 7:30 Eastern. So feel free to join. But earlier on, when Mina was going sideways, when there was a lot of good price action to suggest support, that is when I was talking about it. So you can see Mina protocol 3 months ago, guys. 3 months ago, that's when it was at the best time to buy, in and around a couple of months ago, guys. Why? Because the price action was nice and low, and a lot of these projects are definitely, you know, popping off at those levels. Look at CFX up 40%. Pepe, wow, 45% in 7 days, doing pretty good. Injective 51%. We've been talking about DYDX. At one point I was like, DYDX is definitely a good buy, and now it's at that point where it's like you're going to get into a green pump. So what I have to say here is right now is if you've seen any altcoins run up in double-digit gains, it's not time to get into a fresh long. It is actually quite dangerous. Why? Because you could become exit liquidity. What that means is that people are going to be selling these tops. People are going to be looking for profit taking. And guess how they're going to be able to sell is only if there are people buying. And you could be those buyers. So be careful, guys, with these green pumps. It's not the safest time to get into a green pump. Okay, so as we keep on scrolling, you can see there are some gainers, 5% here and there. And those are still great. Algorand, 4%, and the list goes on. But the top gainers for today are definitely deep in the green. Okay, what about the losers? Are there any in the last 24 hours? Not really. You know, this is the thing here. This is where you got to get protective. Chainlink did its job. It looks like it's rolling over. It looks like it may want to roll over. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put link on the list. And of course, we're going to look at some of the altcoins that have yet to run up in tonight's live stream. I have a few in mind already, right? And at the end of the day, that's obviously an opportunity to get in if we do get a continuation where we see the money flow in altcoins kind of flow around, let's say, or cycle through all the altcoins one by one, which is very indicative of an altcoin season. If that does happen, we definitely want to make sure that we have our bags packed in altcoins that have yet to run. So some of them, of course, you know, big time. I've been talking about that one in the last little while. Joystream is another one, and there's a few others that have yet to run up. So we'll definitely take a look at those. But look at Chainlink. It did its job, 36%, and now today down approximately 3%. I know it's nothing much, but that structure right now, it's sideways. Or is there signs of bearish divergence? Is there a volume gap below? Are there indications that, you know, we might be rolling over based on bearish divergence? We'll definitely take a look tonight, guys. Feel free to join at 7:30 Eastern. Let's begin. Let's take a look at the project for today, and of course it's Solana. But before we do that, I definitely think that it's a viable option to take a look at Bitcoin. Of course, Solana is, you know, a go-to for a lot of us right here. You know, the bear market did definitely bring us some decent opportunities. But you know, Solana definitely got a nice little pop within this channel. But what about Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin saying? Bitcoin, at the end of the day, had nothing else but to say, you know what, I want that higher high. And it hit it perfectly. If you missed my video yesterday, I dedicated it to Bitcoin, of course, because I saw some good action, and I'm like, you know, what do my subscribers, what do my followers, what do my viewers want to see? And the reality is what is the bullish scenario? The bullish scenario is that we're at this level. It's like, look, guys, be careful, because we're at double top. It's likely we could get a rejection. We have to acknowledge that's a fact. You know, at previous highs, that's usually where people go short. And guys, we got the short squeeze. That's the reality. A lot of people did get short, and then all of a sudden, and if you look at the volume, we got one big buy order that basically broke this resistance to get higher and caused a lot of liquidations, which is equivalent to what people call a short squeeze. Then all of a sudden, you know, we looked at horizontals. Where could we get if that were to be the case? 1.27 extension blew right through that. The 1.618 extension, it got rejected, right? 1.618, 1.27 are great places to anticipate, you know, some sort of reaction, and we got rejected exactly on the dollar at the 1.27 extension level. Perfect scenario right here. Okay, so now I'm not saying that Bitcoin's done, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Bitcoin at this level consolidate. And why would this be bullish? This would be bullish to see Bitcoin consolidate here and perhaps bounce around in this level, make some sort of bullish pennant or continuation pattern. It could be possible. What we want to do is stay above this $32,000 mark. If we stay above and kind of consolidate, that would be great for altcoins. It would be an indication that Bitcoin is going sideways. People are looking for other volatile assets to make some more gains. And this is where we can see a lot of the money flow into altcoins while Bitcoin goes sideways. And if that's the case, altcoin season on. A lot of these altcoins are going to do very, very well. However, guys, in the last little while, with regards to Bitcoin, we'll talk about the news a little bit more. Of course, this spot ETF is definitely causing a lot of FOMO, a lot of hype, a lot of interest. But in the last little while, we saw that the ETF ticker was taken off the list. The list basically, where all the new assets that are going to be listed are listed. And then at the end of the day, that's not a really good sign. I feel like there's a bit of manipulation that could be coming around the corner for us. Now, I'm not trying to spread any FUD whatsoever, but it is there on Twitter, so you feel free to go check that out. And we'll talk about a little bit of this in more detail tonight at 7:30. But as we can see, we did get that rejection. And for some reason, I'm not totally convinced. I don't believe that this would be too easy. This is on easy mode. And when things get too good to be true, that's when I have to be, very skeptical. Now, I'm very aware that getting into a position here at the bottom of the range was the right time. And guys, unfortunately, if you missed out on this green arrow where I let you know that this was the best risk to reward ratio opportunity, now to go long is absolutely dangerous. Again, back to the theory of becoming exit liquidity. It could be happening where we come back down, get a confirmation. We can get a nice entry at about 31,700, backtesting this previous resistance as support, and ultimately getting a bit of relief in momentum where we can get back to lower levels in momentum. Right now, the daily is very overbought, extremely overheated, guys. So this is quite dangerous. And we see that the MACD EMAs are really facing up with nice green histogram bars. So everything is really bullish on the daily. On the 4 hour, let's get into lower time frames. On the 4 hour, consolidating, creating higher highs on momentum, higher highs on the MACD, of course, and we got a bit of a rejection here with the beginning of a potential consolidation here. So something to watch out for. Another thing to note here on the lower time frames, on the 4 hour, we have a bit of a volume gap, which could suggest that we get down to about this thicker yellow line, which the thicker yellow line is pretty much at previous highs. So be careful, because this volume gap has no supply and demand for support, and it could be based on lower time frames that we roll over. Now, the 4 hour is still not giving me that signal. No bearish divergence, nothing like that. Although it is top heavy, you can see this. The momentum is really top heavy. We don't know how long it's going to stay up here. It stayed up here for a while now, and each moment that it stayed there, we got impulses to the upside. Okay, so this is the name of the game here, guys. Divergences and bearish divergences get invalidated, and horizontals get rejected, and this is the name of the game. This is trading 101 for you guys. Okay, so let's look at one more thing, which is the 1 hour. Look at what's happening here on the 1 hour. Okay, if you want to trade the 1 hour, just understand it's very short term. Look at this scenario: double top on the price action, lower highs on the RSI. Perhaps we do come down and test the previous breakout point as support. This could be very possible, very viable. We have the trend line, the top of this trend line to act as support as well. We have the horizontal to act as support. We have the bottom of this volume gap to act as support. So there's a bit of confluence to suggest that if on the 1 hour we see the price action come down, that could be a back test, and that could be a sign of a potential bounce for continuation. However, guys, me personally, I'm not getting into any fresh longs right now. I'm not. Right now, it's not the time. I liked going long here. This is where I was talking about going long. Right now, it's about getting defensive, and this is why I have these red arrows ready to take profit. If you're in a profitable scenario, protect those gains, trail up stop losses, take a bit of capital off the top, leave a bit of the position open just in case we continue. However, guys, overall, this was a very profitable move here on the channel. We've been talking about getting entering here and exiting right at double top, even around here. I talked about de-risk. Be careful here, guys. We had a lot of consolidation right around the zone. So looking left, 70%, 25%, taking a little bit off the top. As you go up, overall, you would have been a very profitable scenario. Now, I know taking profit is a difficult thing. I get it. The emotions are there. That's why DCAing out is actually great, because you never really exit your in position completely. You always have a bit of exposure, so you can take a bit of profits along the way. And this is what I kind of exercised here for you guys in the last little while, to show you that at the end of the day, DCAing out is very viable, right, in this case. All right, let's take a look at Solana. Guys, I know you want to talk about charts and Solana. What is going on here with Sol? Guys, Sol is doing great. Sol is back up to previous highs. Now, again, the green arrows, guys, it doesn't always happen where you get all your orders filled. We did acknowledge that this zone was a weak spot based on volume. and that we had a potential volume gap that could allow us a bit of an opportunity. We got those opportunities multiple times. In fact, this was the zone where I was talking about Solana, about getting some exposure. After that, I was waiting for the back test. Boom. We got the back test. We got the horizontal. We got the green arrows. This was the time to take risk. If you didn't take risk here, we went up, take profit, come back down, add a little bit more to that position based on profit, based on conviction, based on the top of the volume gap, based on horizontal. These were all good areas to accumulate, buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high, and all of a sudden, look where we're at, back at the top again. Look at the red arrows. This is time that you might want to consider de-risking a little bit. Now, I'm not saying exiting your entire position, because you never know what happens to Solana in the immediate short term. We could bounce to higher levels with some good strength, but we are getting a bit of rejection as we speak. Okay, we're going to take a look at lower time frames in a second, but no indication of bearishness just yet on this impulse. We can get a short-term breather and then finally pick up some more momentum to break out of this diagonal, and ultimately it does look like an ascending channel that we are building here. Okay, so really ascending channels technically should break bearish. Okay, that's the strategy here based on the pattern itself, based on the structure. We're basically getting a retracement, and then for another attempt of an impulsive move to the downside is possible. So all of these things you need to keep aware that we do have a volume gap down here that is a sign of weakness, and this double bottom could be tested at any moment to, get a confirmation. Although we did get a confirmation low here, do we get an actual confirmation from this low? For this low right here, we need to come down, eventually get a confirmation, a higher low, double bottom, something like that. It's all very possible. I'm not spreading FUD, but just saying, having cash on the side for that opportunity is very viable, right? You always have a bit of reserve. In fact, traders always ensure that they have 20% of their bag in stable. What that means is that there's always cash ready to be deployed if you get an opportunity. If you're dry and you don't have any, that's a problem, because then what about if you get a good fire sale in this market? You're not going to be able to deploy. So always keep your portfolio nice and balanced, take profits, leave a bit of cash on the side just in case. Now, from a bullish perspective, of course, the bearish is that we come down, we break below, get to these levels. I'll buy the dips here at 12. I'll buy the dips here at worst case scenario, $4, guys. That would be absolutely bearish. Worst scenario is that we come down here. I'm not anticipating it, but you never know. But from a bullish perspective, guys, look at this. We're above the 200 daily, which is beautiful, nice. We didn't really get a back test off of it, which would be, ideal to see, the price action come down, use the 200 daily as support. The 200 daily right now is going sideways, which is a nice indication that maybe we're going to roll to the upside, which is beautiful. But at the end of the day, breaking out of the top of the range, the top of the volume gap is what we need. Do we have enough bullish strength right now to actually get an impulsive move and deal with this cluster of supply and demand looking left as resistance? I don't know. I don't feel like this is the ideal spot to actually expect Solana to have enough bullish momentum left to actually get this to happen. If it does happen, I'm expecting a retracement, coming down to the bottom of the volume gap, picking up some more bullish bids at this level, producing a beautiful cup and handle, a nice consolidation, and then perhaps a nice impulsive move to the upside, and then expecting, a little bit of this price action, this horizontal resistance to cause a bit of friction along the way. Okay, and that's when we're going to be looking at a $50 Solana if we can actually get there. And then above $50, guys, the sky's the limit. There's a lot of weakness up there with a lot of empty volume that could basically allow the price to fly to higher levels. We'll get to that point when we get there. Obviously, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, and I'll definitely give you an update along the way with regards to Solana. But at the end of the day, what is happening here on the lower time frames? Let's take a look. 4 hour. As it loads, you can see momentum is definitely all the way up there. This price action is definitely up there, but there's a bit of divergence happening at this horizontal, at this level of resistance. You can see the red arrows are there. Why do I say higher highs on the price action and lower highs on the RSI? Okay, that's not a good sign. When you see class A bearish divergence at resistance, not the greatest, right? So if you see that you're up significantly on Solana, start coming up with a plan of protecting your gains, because you don't want to give them back to the market. Take a little bit off the top. And if you noticed, even the MACD, a bit indecisive, to be honest, but an EMA cross, maybe looking for that rollover is possible here. Obviously, this jitter and this chop action is not very conclusive, and it's not very confident, right? Doesn't give you a sense of confidence. So it's okay to kind of ignore it, but you can't ignore this. You can't ignore that the MACD the RSI, the way it looks right now, it looks like it's trying to roll over, and perhaps it's overbought in overbought conditions at horizontal levels of resistance, showing class A bearish divergence here on the 4-hour. It could be looking for that dip. Now, the good news is that the daily is not showing any of that weakness, but the short-term time frame is. So be careful. You know, based on the 4-hour, we could dip down and test this zone, and then maybe get another impulsive move based on the daily and continue a little bit higher. It's very possible, but I would be using the 4-hour to take a bit of profits after every impulsive move. Usually 3 moves to the upside is enough, and in this case, if we take a bit of profit on the 4-hour, come down, get back in, or maybe none at all, and let it come back up, take a bit of more profit, and so on and so on. Usually it's about 3 times of profit taking of impulsive moves, we start to see some weakness on the daily, and the daily is already overbought. So you want to get into that stance where you start looking at the bearish case scenario. I'm not saying that you have to get bearish, but start getting into the mindset of a bear and start thinking about where is it the time for us to take profit and protect the gains. All right, guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor and slap the like button. And of course, I'm going to be live tonight at 7:30 Eastern, so feel free to join. You can make any requests with regards to any crypto that you're interested in, and I'll put them in top priority. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. And finally, guys, join that Discord. Great community, lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, learning material, and all that good stuff. Take care, guys. Have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.